Have you ever noticed when some people speak, everyone really listens, but what some people say just seems to hang in the air? No one takes it very seriously. And here's the interesting thing. Sometimes two people say the exact same thing. There's only one difference: who said it. Think about this. An idea pops into your head, you immediately write an email or share a suggestion, the message is read, but no one responds. Throughout the day, people glance at it a few times, but no one says anything. The next day, someone else says the exact same thing, the same suggestion, the same words. And suddenly everyone starts paying attention. This is where the insidious part begins. Ideas alone are not valuable. The person who owns them determines their value, and most people work, struggle, and put in effort for years without realizing this. But an invisible hierarchy always directs things. Have you ever experienced something like this before? Maybe you're in the same situation without realizing it. If you have, share it in the comments. I'd love to read your story. In psychology, this is called idiosyncrasy credit. In other words, a person has as much say as the trust and reputation they have earned over time. The more reliable and respected you are, the more seriously your ideas are taken. Think about it. Two different people make the same suggestion. If the first person is new and lacks credibility, no one pays attention. But when someone who has earned trust says the same thing, everyone listens. Some employees may have successfully managed projects for a long time and built strong relationships with the boss. Others may not have achieved highly visible successes yet and may have professional but distant relationships with their boss. When they express the same idea, the person with more experience and reputation stands out. The other person's words often go unnoticed. Research shows that the ideas of high-status employees are accepted much more than the same ideas from lower-status employees. Why? Because people evaluate not the ideas, but the person expressing them. Sometimes the same ideas receive completely differently when expressed by different people in the workplace. One of the most powerful factors influencing this is the halo effect. In social psychology, the halo effect refers to how a person's positive traits in one area reflect on all their other traits. This is felt very strongly in the workplace. If an employee is perceived as new and inexperienced, what they say is often interpreted through this filter. This is called the halo effect. And the best part is, I'm going to show you how to gain it. Once you learn to use your reputation correctly, your ideas and words will no longer fall on deaf ears. Another situation, the tendency to agree with things everyone accepts. People more readily accept information from sources they already trust. The person your boss trusts is usually your senior colleague, but do they trust you? Not yet, because you haven't proven yourself. The way to prove yourself is to get your ideas heard, but your ideas are often ignored because you haven't achieved any visible success yet. There's a vicious cycle. You need credibility to be heard, and you need to be heard to gain credibility. Research from Yale University shows that employees labeled as trustworthy have a 73% advantage in idea acceptance rates. When the same idea comes from someone seen as untrustworthy, the default reaction is, does it really work? When it comes from someone trustworthy, the default reaction is, how do we implement it? The difference is small but critical. Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it that matters. One person speaks in a timid, hesitant, and self-doubting tone. The other expresses themselves confidently, clearly, and decisively. The idea is the same, but the difference is very clear. The confident person is more likely to be taken seriously, but the hesitant one is hardly heard at all. If you've been wrong a few times in the past, all your future ideas will be viewed with suspicion. Research shows that employees whose ideas have been negatively evaluated once are given much less consideration in their subsequent ideas. The label of failure creates an invisible but powerful barrier. Ideas that have been branded once block the way for subsequent ideas. Employees whose ideas have been successful in the past have a significant advantage in their subsequent proposals. A successful past ensures that new ideas are considered more quickly. So you are not only judged by your current idea, you are also judged by the perception of your past. So what should you do? Because this is not just a psychology lesson. This is about your ideas and your voice being heard. Number 1. Build trust, be patient. Being taken seriously doesn't happen overnight. People remember your silence before your words, your stance before your actions. Accumulate small wins without making noise, letting the results speak for themselves. Instead of making big promises, find a small flaw in the office or team that everyone complains about, but no one puts their hand in the fire to fix. Solve that problem without telling anyone, without making noise. Say an idea, and if it works, a little note forms in their eyes. Maybe we should listen to this person. Over time, your influence will grow. Number 2, use the psychological power of timing. Even if you have the world's most brilliant idea, a word spoken at the wrong time is like a letter sent to the wrong address. It never reaches its destination. If you want to be taken seriously, you must manage not only what you say, but also when you say it. Speak at the beginning of the meeting when energy is high. Everyone is attentive, focused, and highly motivated. This is the right time for your ideas to be heard. But don't force your ideas when everyone is tired, distracted, or when discussions have dragged on. Instead of waiting for those moments, choose the right time. Your idea should be used like a strategic tool. When you seize the right moment, its impact multiplies. Timing is an invisible force that determines the weight of your words. Number 3, use external sources. Sometimes, no matter how right you are, your voice remains a one-person idea. In psychology, this is called the authority bias. The human brain shows unquestioning respect for large, well-known, and accepted structures. If you want your idea to be taken seriously, present it not as your own idea, but as a universal truth. But when you link your idea to an external source, its weight changes completely. Instead of just saying, "This is what I think," say, "This analysis suggests this, and I agree." An external authority adds invisible weight to what you say. Now, you're not just sharing an idea, you're backing it up with a reliable source. Number 4, strengthen your communication style. Most people are afraid of making mistakes, so they put shields like, "I guess," "maybe," or "I'm not sure," but in front of their sentences. Use definitive language to strengthen your words. Say, "I suggest," instead of "maybe," "according to the data," instead of "I think." And the analysis shows that instead of "I'm not sure," but express your ideas clearly, but back up what you say with data and concrete examples. This combination ensures that what you say is taken seriously and gives it professional weight. Number 5, patience and strategic repetition. Did you present a great idea in a meeting and no one paid attention? Most people get discouraged at this point and back off. However, being taken seriously in the professional world is sometimes just about your ability to stick around. An idea that goes unnoticed the first time around will attract more attention on the 3rd or 4th repetition. Finally, sometimes not being taken seriously isn't your fault. It's an invisible box that your environment puts you in, but staying in that box is entirely your choice. But the invisible psychology of the workplace doesn't end there. Sometimes people may be uncomfortable with your success rather than supporting it. So why do some people feel uncomfortable with your success? We'll discuss exactly that in the next video.